Hey, I'm Gary, and welcome to another segment of Interviews with Experts. Today I'm very happy to have with me Dr. Jess, who is a Toronto-based sexologist and relationship expert. And I'm going to take advantage of the sexologist part today, actually, Jessica. And I'm going to ask you what as a man is the one thing, it's going to be one thing that I need to know about women. And of course, when I mean that, I mean about giving her the most pleasure.
Okay. Well, for women, it isn't all about the physical. Same as the men. So it really begins and ends in our head. So we talk about all these different types of orgasms: clitoral orgasms, vaginal orgasms, G-spot orgasms, fantasy orgasms, but all of those orgasms come back to the brain. So you probably hear a lot about foreplay.
Sure.
Right? Spend more time on foreplay. Women like you to work them up. But foreplay doesn't begin in the bedroom. Foreplay is about that physical, raw connection, the flirtation that you do from the beginning of the day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy when you start a relationship. You flirt with one another, right? You make each other feel hot, you offer compliments, and I think as we get into relationships, we start to be respectful, but we lose that animalistic side. So you need to find a balance between the raw, masculine, that kind of virile, animalistic side, and the part that's respectful and you know, develops connection and enjoys that person. So balancing those two and starting outside of the bedroom is my advice to you.
So if I hear what you're saying correctly, you know, we men are very single-minded, very focused, and you know, we think about, well, you know, we think about pickup lines, we think about techniques, but I think what you're saying is that it's about having that understanding of the build-up and what things trigger the sexual excitement, so that everything else actually comes a lot easier, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So yeah, the physical part is important, right? Yeah, you need to know what you're doing, you need to have the right technique, but the technique is different for every single person, right? Whereas that brain, that kind of the mental connection, the way you work her up and make her feel sexy and make her feel beautiful is what works in the long term, right? Every woman will say, well, I just don't feel sexy, so I'm not in the mood. Obviously, you're not going to be in the mood if you're feeling kind of unattractive. So you need to cultivate that, especially when you get into a relationship.
So I should, if I'm going on a date with a woman and I predict that I'm going to have sex with her at the end of the evening, I should be thinking more about what we're going to be doing during the evening, and maybe if there's a compromise, less of how I'm going to approach her in bed, or techniques or things I'm going to do in what order. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that's a perfect interpretation. So you can have that build-up begin at dinner or begin at the movies or wherever you're going, and you're letting her kind of planting the seed with regard to the fact that you want her. So she knows how badly you want her before you actually lay a hand on her.
Excellent advice. I'm going to try and remember that. Anyway, thank you very much. Now, how can our viewers take advantage of your excellent advice and your services? How can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can find me at www.sexwithdrjess.com, and I'm on Twitter at Jessica O'Reilly.
Dr. Jess, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to our viewers, and we'll see you again on another segment of Interviews with Experts.